Welcome to It's a Broker Thing podcast, brought to you by Bluestone Home Loans. Each episode will dive into market updates, practical insights, and real stories for brokers who want to stay ahead, build stronger relationships, and grow their business. Let's dive in. Good brokers grow, exceptional brokers break barriers, scale, and often become great leaders. On this episode, we'll chat about broker education, the invite program that Loan Market are doing called Elevate, and how that leads to great outcomes. Joining me again is Michael Karpathakis, the National Head of Business Performance at Loan Market. MK, welcome back to It's a Broker Thing.
Hey, Tony, thanks so much for having me back. God, it only feels like yesterday I was here, so good to spend some time with you.
You haven't even changed.
Still wearing the same gear.
Let's jump straight in because a couple of years ago, you had a change of direction at Loan Market and basically from grassroots established a program called Elevate.
Yeah.
Tell me just a little bit about the Elevate program and what you do in it.
Yeah, for sure. So you're right. It's about maybe 2.5 years ago. So back at that time, I was running New South Wales. So loved it. Was leading the New South Wales business, for Sam with Loan Market, and like I've probably shared with you personally in the past. One thing you end up doing is when you're working so closely with so many amazing people, that they let you in and you build an amazing relationship, amazing friendship, but also a lot of trust. And you live the highs and lows, so you become really invested. And what was quite funny is I started to create in New South Wales, I started to create a couple of communities, which were great. And what the communities are, and one thing that really resonates is sometimes broking can be lonely. But what we did is we created these communities where we got really good like-minded businesses together that became really invested in each other. They learned from each other, and when you surround yourself with the best people, you get better. And then I remember Sam pulling me aside once. He said, "Mate, I love the way you're building these communities, but I'm thinking about shifting you in the sense that I'd love you to be doing this more nationally." So off the back of that, I started to map out a bit of a plan where it wasn't just about creating communities, but we sort of identified, we have this segmentation based on how many customers the business owner looks after each year. And we had a framework where we were looking at our premier business owners, and premier business owners normally look after about 70 customers a year. And the mindset was, well, how do we put a framework in place for them to help them move from Premier to Platinum Elite? So Platinum Elite would normally look after 200 customers per year. So to shift from 70 to 200. So what we thought we'd do is let's create Elevate. And what it was, okay, how am I going to build a framework or a model to help business owners go through the journey? And it was more about how do I help someone that's a really good broker and turn them into a really good business owner? And by doing that, we help them go from Premier to Platinum Elite, and that's how Elevate was born.
Yeah. So you obviously it's a 12-month program. I think you've shared with me
6
month program. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, what are the components of it, and what are the expectations? Probably before people come into it.
Yeah.
And then as they go through it and come out the back end of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. So how we measure success in Elevate. So there's 3 things. So one is, it was quite funny. Originally, there was 2. So what I wanted to do with the first was I wanted to drive 1.5 times growth. So if you think, if you're a $100 million business, I've got you doing 150, or together we're doing 150 mil within 12 months. The second thing was creating these really strong communities, and the strong communities was more about leveraging the room, because you know how they say, if you've got a problem and you've got 10 people trying to solve the problem, you've got 10 amazing ideas, and we all get better. So it was around creating the environment, getting like-minded people together where we all get better. And the third thing we identified was it was originally gross revenue. So how do we drive 1.5 times growth? And then the second thing was the communities. Then we identified, hey, profitability was key. So one's gross revenue, one's profit. And the real focus on that was really to help each business on the profitability. And one thing we've identified within Loan Market, we've rolled out Profit Pulse, which is amazing. So a couple of things with Profit Pulse was all about benchmarking, but also to help each business owner, particularly when they're hiring staff, we can start to track the profitability per broker pod within their businesses, which has been exceptional.
And it's so important because often we see brokers measure success by how many loans they write,
Yeah.
or how many people they have working for them, or how many awards. And I see it in lending space as well.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you're not making money out of all of that activity, it's to no avail.
Yeah, and it's a good way to do it. Like, and if I talk profitability, the measure is trying to get each business to run on upfronts. So when we set the plan, and one thing with Elevate, if I talk you through the 6 pillars, so this is a good way of doing it. So what we'll do is we'll work out pillar 1, we come together and we've got to drive 1.5 times growth. And one thing I didn't get to share earlier on, I think, like if I look at businesses 12 months ago, I think we were about 158, 160% of growth. So within 12 months, not only we 1.5 times, but this is a testament to the quality of businesses that go through Elevate. So firstly, you've got to be invited in. Secondly, you've got to have the motivation to do it. You like the businesses that become part of Elevate, you're not going to turn up and be procrastinate, complacent. I'm going to run at 105%, 110%. You're going to come in, you're going to stretch yourself. And in that first meeting, everybody in the room will present their plans for FY27. So normally we do it in Feb or March. You do it early, set the plan for the year ahead. Everyone will come in and present their plan, and they'll tell you how they're going to hit their plan over the next 12 months. I'll start to push them up the curve. So I forget about settlements. We've got to work out average loan size. What does it look like for lodgement? What does it look like for how many appointments? And we start to reverse engineer those KPIs. But what I love, that meeting one, they all present their plans to each other, Tone. So then you've got 10 people in the room that all are owning the plan. They're like each other's plans. So all of a sudden, everyone is invested in each other's success.
And are they critiquing each other's plan
100%.
and pushing each other?
Totally.
Hey, you can actually probably do a little bit more there. Maybe you've let yourself off the hook on this bit.
Oh, and I've seen it. I've had people come in and say they come in and the plans are 200%. You've got other people in the room, once the trust is built, they're like, I just don't know how, help me understand it better. And then they start to try to help each other because someone might put down a key goal for the next 90 days that they need to focus on or execute on. But someone else in the room has tested it, tried it, and it's either worked or hasn't. And then rather than the business owner trying something that's not going to work, they've got the IP from those in the room that they can leverage and they can speed up their growth, which is great. And then what we end up doing, once the plan's set, the other 5 pillars, and I'll only cover the top line for you. But the other 5 pillars is, okay, firstly, we set the 1.5 times growth. I'm saying, great. Now what we need to look at, we look at recruitment and retention. So how do you recruit and how do you retain your best people? And there's a great stat out there, Tone, that says, you know how we're always focusing on new, like trying to attract new talent? There's a great, and you know this when you lost me, what they say is, it actually, if you've got a superstar in your business, it actually takes you 2 years to recover from losing a star performer in your business. 2 years. So if you're a young business and you've got 1 or 2 CSMs and you've got someone that's an absolute gun, you lose them, it's going to take 2 years to recover. That's huge. So what we focus on in there, and I won't even talk about the loan writer piece, but what we focus on is recruitment and retention of your best people. So how do you recruit? How do you retain? The other thing I do in that second meeting is, all right, the model you're in now, are you the selling principal model? So everyone, hopefully that's listening would know the selling principal model, which I think is about 70% of the industry. What that is, one broker and who is awesome at getting in front of customers, and you keep bolting more and more support on to be able to free that person up to get in front of more clients. That's the CSM or the selling principal. Then you go into the employee model. So part of that is, if you're going to do the employee models, we give them, because you know how you were talking about profitability, we start to break up the employee. What's the model look like? How do you drive enough profit out of it? If you're going to bring somebody on wages, what does it need to look like before you share comms? We look at comms only, and we look at the hybrid model as well. And then the third, and I only do the 3 of the peers at the moment, but the third one is, then we've got the team right. Our recruitment and retention's right. We've got the plan set. Then it's like, are we driving enough lead gen to hit the numbers? If we are, great. If we're not, what are the buckets? Let's track lead quality, lead conversion by lead source. Let's track the lead conversion and work out what bucket we want to focus on to drive growth.
You make the point about people, and you know, I've been in Bluestone now coming on 3 years, and we've demonstrated just how important getting the right people in those roles.
Yeah.
But they don't grow on trees. They're not
Yeah.
easy to find. I suspect, well, I know it's exactly the same issue in the broking space. Where are you helping people find the right people
Yeah,
in this program?
totally. So what we identified is we introduced the two things. We've got Broker Force. So what Broker Force is we're invested in Manila, and we have offshore staff in Manila. And what's been really good is we focused on not only recruiting but training and coaching them in my CRM and the tech and even Blueprint, like a lot of work around process reviews. So firstly, we've got Broker Force, but the other thing we started to get a bit frustrated with was a lot of our businesses would engage external recruiters onshore, and they would pay, what do you pay, 15, 20% when you use external recruiter? And for a broker business, that's quite a lot. So what we did within Elevate, but also within the broader group, we rolled out Talent Force, and we don't charge our business owners for Talent Force. So we've got our own recruitment team internally, and we'll work with our business owner around what are they looking for. And it could be a CSM, it could be a credit analyst, it could be a broker, employee, contractor, whatever it might be. And we will work with those business owners around recruiting and trying to identify really good talent. But what's really good, because all we do is recruitment for our network, we start to build a bench. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So like we might identify 4 or 5 people that are amazing. Tony might pick up 1 or 2. But then what we've got is we've got 2 or 3 other really good people that we can outsource into the broader network as well.
And clearly paying results, because
Totally.
Talking about a clear goal is 150% of what you started. What I wanted to ask is, in those group sessions when people are presenting their plan, presenting what they're targeting, and there's group encouragement in there, if people are pushed in, beyond that 150% to 200 or beyond, and get close but don't quite hit it, how's that perceived amongst the program and in the group?
Oh well, it's a good question, but I think everybody's so supportive of each other. Do you know what I mean? And I think what they do is, if anyone's behind target, or if anyone's feeling the pressure or feeling the pinch, everyone goes into problem solving and is trying to help, and and sharing best practice, sharing ideas. And what I love, one thing I've done, you talk about the peer-to-peer. So if I look at some of the groups, what I'll see, and I'll know the group is humming when I'll get up in the morning. We drive a lot on WhatsApp. So everyone gets into me because I love WhatsApp. WhatsApp is so cool. Like I've got about, 20, 25. You're smiling, so you must be on WhatsApp.
I'm on your State of Origin WhatsApp from last year, and I'm waiting to get inundated with it over the coming little period. It will come. Played out. Yeah,
it will come, and that's one of the communities. So that community for State of Origin, They started 14 years ago, and it's an event they've been going to for quite some time. But going back, when I know they're humming the WhatsApp groups or these small communities, I'll get up in the morning and there's 6, 7, 8 messages. So Tone has put on there, hey, I'm thinking about bringing on a broker. This is a REM model. This is how I'm going to set the incentives. Come back and give me feedback. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you think? And then I see there's 6 other people that have either rolled that model out, are curious about it, and they're bouncing off each other and learning. So that's like going back into that first point, everybody is so passionate about, firstly, you present your plan and we get the buy-in. Then you've got the collective power of everybody in the room that's there to help them hit their targets. And then they become invested and they keep bouncing off each other and learning from each other to get better and seize the opportunities that are there.
Was that easy to create, or was there a sense of, hey, I'm doing this really well, and if I share it with one of my fellow colleagues here, I may lose, or was there a real openness? Did you have to work on that?
Yeah, it's funny you said it. Like I've had people that have come from our competitors or other groups and have said the culture you've got within, and this is a testament to everyone within low market, particularly the brokers, okay? Particularly the brokers. Just the culture we've got within the group is second to none. And do you know what? If I created an environment with Elevate and I put 10 people in the room that weren't invested, were stealing ideas off each other, didn't want to share, the model fails.
Yep.
But because, and going back to the network, like we're very particular on who we invite in. But what I've learned over time is the culture we've got within the group. They come in, and you get our best people are so happy to share. And I remember there was people like, Paul Hickson, Phil Rogers, some amazing businesses that said, well, like I was new to the industry 10 years ago. And I had people that were sharing, like Sarah Thompson and other people within the business that would lend their time to me and would share their learnings to me and help me get to where I am today. So I'm more than happy to pass it on. So from a culture point of view, there's 100% sharing, and everybody within the group is so passionate about helping each other get better. So good.
I'll come back to that culture thing because I've experienced it a few times with the loan market crew.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me that picking the right brokers for the program is critically important.
Yeah.
How do you go about that? Because you did mention it's invitation only. It's not I put my hand up, I'm going to pay and join this.
Yeah. It's a good point. So the state guys do that. So the state team who are really engaged with each of the brokers within their network, they're working day in, day out. Like they're already working closely. They understand what motivates and what each of the brokers within their portfolios would want to achieve. And they've as part of the offering, they're having discussions. And then if they identify someone wants to grow and they want to go and be part of the Elevate framework, but would also and you got to commit. It's quite a large commitment. So what they end up doing during the 6 months, I've covered 3 of the pillars. There's 6. So the other 2 is profitability. We spoke about running on upfronts, and we're really focused on benchmarking, and we utilize Profit Pulse. The 5th one, and I remember Sam saying this to me once. He goes, like, some of our most amazing businesses, they've had to grow in the leadership. Like they're dealing with so many customers, they start hiring staff. So what we've got is the 5th pillar is about helping our business owners become better leaders. So we help them around KPIs, performance reviews, operating rhythm. So we help them become a better leader. And as part of doing that, we also start to dive really deeply into AI. Like AI is the hottest topic at the moment. But one thing I've learned with AI is the network is so curious and they're all out there testing, they're experimenting. So one of the other benefits with coming together and running these groups of like-minded businesses that are happy to share, they're all sharing what they're doing, what they're using, what's working, and they're getting better. So, and then the last one is we all come together and we go to Sam's house and there's a graduation and it's pretty special. So, did I cover what you're after there? Or?
No, absolutely. Let me go back to culture because a couple of things strike me about, and it's not only loan market, but I think there's some uniqueness about loan market, and it's credit to Sam and yourself and others that have been there for some time. And 2 things stick out for me. I've been lucky enough to be on 2 trips with the loan market top performing brokers. The first one was, we had a spare night, and the brokers off their own bat put their hand in their pocket and wanted to show appreciation to the lenders and shouted the lenders out at night, which
so good.
was actually quite unique at that point. And then the other one, and you'll appreciate this, I went to San Fran. I've been on the top floor of the hotel we were staying in with all the top performers arm in arm singing the loan market theme song of Stand By Me.
We did that at every conference.
Yeah, and it's something that stood out to me and really special. So it is something that people encourage each other to be successful as opposed to compete with each other.
And you know what's awesome? Well, that all comes from the top down. We're a family business. Like, that's pretty cool. A business at our size. But still a family business that's so passionate about everybody within the group. It's pretty cool and pretty humbling.
Yeah. So you've done 2 programs of Elevate now?
I've got the 2. So originally we rolled out Elevate. So Elevate, which was state by state. So what that is that Premier to Partner. So that's Premier to Platinum Elite. So that's a bit of a selling principle model, and that's in every state. So New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, SA, WA, love the West, so in WA as well. But then what we ended up getting is a number of our sort of large chairmen's businesses and businesses just short of chairman said, well, mate, the Elevate framework's really good. You need to do it for our best people as well. So you need to do it for chairmans. So we've rolled out Elevate Elite. We call it Elevate Elite, and same rules apply. So that 1.5 times growth. But this is where we really get into your best people with Elevate Elite. It's a national program. So what's really awesome with that is you'll have 2 or 3 out of New South, 2 or 3 out of Victoria, 2 or 3 out of SA, WA, Queensland, like that. They come together. They come together each month. They're in a different state each month. So it shows the commitment, the buy-in, and just how, and the IP in the room. You're like, you imagine the IP in the room when you got 15 amazing businesses of that size, giving everything up, like sharing all their IP. So that's Elevate Elite. Still run the 1.5 times growth. And we're now up to the second run for Elevate Elite. But the difference on that is that's where we go into each of them. Remember I was talking about the broker pods?
Yep.
And part of with Profit Pulse, with broker pods, we break up. It's not just around the overall profitability for the business. We're now doing it for each pod, both employees and contractors, gross revenue in, what's the cost base? Like normally you're going to have different costs in there, like support, CSMs, all that sort of stuff. So what's the cost base for that pod to run, and how much profit we're generating out of each pod? And but the level of discussion in that group, it's sensational.
I can only imagine that
cool.
It'd be through the roof.
Yeah.
So we're obviously talking to a much broader audience than just those that have access to Elevate or Elevate Elite. What tips or advice would you have for a broker that's doing well but wants to move to that next level and really grow their business?
I think you've got to put yourself in front of the right task. So there's an analogy or a saying, like, let's say, Tone, you're a business owner, you work, and let's say if you work for me, okay. So I'm going to pay you $300-$400 an hour because to me, you're someone. If I can get you in front of a customer, you're going to be able to close not close a customer. You're going to provide the solution, look after the customer, and generate good revenue back into the business. So I don't want you spending time on those stupid $20-$30 an hour tasks. If I'm paying you $300 an hour, which is what a broker should be getting as a minimum, to pay them $20-$30, have them working on a $20-$30 an hour task is just stupid. So what we've seen, as soon as they hire a support, we automatically see about 30-35% uplift. So within 12 months, if you identify what stuff you shouldn't be doing, which is going to free you up to get in front of more clients, if you put the right person on in your business, you'll see a 35% spike in 12 months.
Yeah. That's a really interesting point because a lot of brokers, well, a lot of business people are often reluctant to make that investment.
Yeah.
The return from that investment can be significant.
Yeah. Well, 35%, it's huge. Like you do your sums on it. And the other thing I'd probably say is make sure you got a plan in place. If you've got a team, make sure you share your plan with the team and stop running your business on settlements. Start focusing on running your business on top of funnel because it drives accountability.
So you've got this great program, but I know you also follow this up with unique ways of interacting with your brokers on a one-to-one or one-to-small group or even within the loan market business and find different ways to connect and to really get performance and discussion going. Can you share a couple of those with me?
God, okay. And it's quite funny, like... It's funny, like it might be a prior to COVID thing. Remember prior to COVID, it was like if you were going to have a meeting with a broker, you'd sit down, it would be in their boardroom or in an office or sometimes at a cafe, very, very regimented. Now, like what I've learned is the best performers, they don't want to meet in a boardroom or a meeting room anymore. They want to balance out. And there's a lot of discussion around sort of mental health and sort of well-being and things like that. So a couple I've been doing these walk and talks. Love it. Absolutely. And there's so many people, I won't embarrass anyone, but there's so many amazing people I do it with. And it's amazing the content. And then what's ended up happening, I've done it with so many amazing business owners where we'll do a walk and talk, might even go for a swim. So go and do a swim and things like that and maybe do it over breakfast. But now what I hear is they do it with their referrers, they do it with top clients, they do it with the lenders, they will do it with their peers. And one of the more recent ones I did is I ended up going to a place called Soak Bathhouse. You'll throw me totally on the bus.
It's a day spa, isn't it?
It's a day spa.
Manicures.
Oh, so bad. So I'm in there having a meeting with somebody, and it was the best meeting ever. It went for 2 hours, hour and a half. But this is how bad it was. We're sitting in this thing called Soak Bathhouse, and we're in the magnesium pool. We're doing sauna, and then we're doing ice bath. But he told me, he said it was the best thing he's ever done, and he's now done it with 3 of his referrers.
That I didn't know, the back end there. But a tip for those listening in, though, I wouldn't put that on your expense charge. No. It doesn't go over well with the CFO of day spa on your expenses. Is that correct?
It didn't go down too well at all. It didn't go down well at all.
Look, mate, we've run out of time again, but it's been great talking about the Elevate program, and I did want to bring up the end bit to have a go at you, but also
Thank you.
That it's nice to find different ways to engage with people that drives high performance as well, and we don't need to do things, the same boring way. And you've clearly made a huge difference through the Elevate program. I know the loan market team well, and they love your quirky and different ways of engaging. So thank you again for joining us. Absolute brilliant having you on and learning more, and we might get you back at a later date and delve in, deep dive into a couple of the areas that we've just touched on. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Tony.
And thank you for joining us again. And don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for more insights. And we'll see you on the next episode of It's a Broker Thing. That's a wrap of this episode of It's a Broker Thing, brought to you by Bluestone Home Loans. We love sharing ideas that help you stay ahead because backing brokers, well, it's a Bluestone thing. Hit subscribe and join us next time for more insights and stories that keep you in the know. This podcast is for general education only and isn't financial, legal or tax advice. Guest views are their own. Bluestone accepts no liability for errors or how you use this information.